This false matrix is topsy-turvy, and we're told that down is up and up is down for the purposes of the oppression and exploitation of the masses. That's why I say that narcissism is socially engineered mental illness, but so is codependency. We are largely culturally conditioned from a very young age to label codependent patterns as healthy and normal, to the detriment of the well-being of the people who choose that. We are taught that family comes first, even if your family abuses and sabotages you. We are taught that marriage vows are more sacred than preserving our sacred lives and health when only one partner is doing the work. We are taught that we put the welfare of the toxic group at the self-sacrificial cost of the individual. In fact, you cannot have a healthy group that does not prioritize the well-being and welfare of every member, and those groups are rare in a world where at least 10% of the population has narcissistic or dark triad personalities who hijack that group mentality to exploit for their own benefit. They turn those systems into pyramid schemes at the cost of the individuals who invest in good faith that they are caring for their neighbor and that their neighbor will then care for them. But because these systems are unsustainable when you have parasites, they collapse, and those who give without discernment are the ones who get robbed. That said, reciprocal collaboration and being of a service mindset to people who don't exploit it are among life's greatest joy hacks. When you pour love and energy into a person or collaboration with someone who is a reciprocator too, the magic of synergy is employed. What you give is appreciated and therefore compounds in its value. This magnifies the love, the energy, the prosperity that comes from these kinds of collaborations. Because giving feels so good when you know you aren't going to be used and abused for doing it. When you know they will be inspired to pour back into you and your appreciation of that gift will compound its value. This is how the most prosperous, harmonious, and joyful collaborations happen, whether they're professional, romantic, familial, or platonic. And sometimes those magical moments even happen synchronistically with strangers. So, the false matrix conflates and makes opposites often appear as the same thing or be mistaken for one another. It takes nuance and discernment to recognize them for the paradoxes they often are. This is true of codependency and loyalty. If you want to stay loyal to your path, which is your purpose in this life, you need to hold to that loyalty over relationships that would cost you that. That is loyalty to self. To thine own self be true. If you are not loyal to self, then you cannot be truly loyal to another, because in that self-abandonment, you need to get your needs met by them and that system, since you decided to forego authentically meeting those needs for yourself. This makes one manipulative, and this is a trap unhealed empaths often fall into with their shadows, since they erroneously often think that their loving intentions mean they can't be toxic. Surprise, we definitely can be. But we are all humans with human needs, and putting a system or relationship before taking personal responsibility for meeting those needs ourselves makes us beholden to them for our survival, and that requires manipulation in people-pleasing the ones you gave your power over to. Until you face that shadow aspect and reclaim your own sovereignty, you are not empowered to be free to survive without that manipulation factor. When you do take that power back, the people who benefited from it will call you disloyal when it was actually the most loyal thing you could have done for everyone involved. Because you can't be loyal and honest with them either when you have to unconsciously manipulate them to survive. And they are disloyal to themselves in prioritizing that need for external control over their own sovereignty and inner peace. How have you seen this play out for you? In my follow-up video, we're going to talk about how codependent loyalty is the #1 self-sabotage that keeps people from realizing their dreams. And remember that to thine own self you must be true, because if you don't stand for yourself and your values and your life path, you will fall for any and everything that would detract you from that for their benefit over yours.